This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 8th day of April in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. A cloud of uneasiness has enveloped the bauxite town of Linden as residents call for justice over the police shooting death of 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters yesterday and the shooting death of another Lindener today, Dan Johnson, who was part of a protest against the death of Peters. He was also shot dead by the police. Lindeners gathered early this morning at the scene of yesterday's shooting of the 21-year-old and started to block sections of the main roadway along 1 Mile Wisma as they demanded justice. The young man was with a group of friends when a black minibus pulled up and a man dressed in plain clothes, later identified as Police Sergeant Michael Kendall, emerged with a gun in hand and chased after the young man, Ronaldo Peters, yesterday afternoon. The young father of one was shot within seconds and dragged out of the yard by his collar and dumped into the unmarked minibus. Eyewitnesses said the policeman never identified himself and opened fire on an unarmed man who was fleeing. That policeman, Sergeant Michael Kendall, has since been placed under close arrest and is being investigated for murder. Although a police press statement last evening claimed that the police ranks were in their uniform, a CCTV recording of the incident contradicted that statement. The police also claimed that Peters was wanted to answer an allegation of rape that was reportedly filed against him back in December. His family said they knew nothing of the rape allegation, and his aunt explained that while she received a call over a month ago from a police officer asking about him, the details of the complaint against him were never made known to her. She said the police requested that he visited the station, and she passed that information on to him more than a month ago. She also passed the information on to his girlfriend. The grieving woman said she did not hear back from the police. She said she remains in shock over her nephew's shooting death, making it clear that he did not deserve to die. And tonight she is demanding justice for the family.
Probably if he's an animal, if he's a dog, well then the family also must be dogs, because why they never come? They all know, look at the time, they never come. They never come. The police make I drink my tear from last night altar. Now I am drinking my tear, my nephew, and I need justice. I really need justice for my nephew. He lives with me. He's like my own son. He's like my own son. His mother is in the hospital. They had to do emergency C-section. She get her baby. She puts a birth, emergency C-section she had to do. Because she pressure.
Ronaldo Peters and his girlfriend lived at the aunt's home with their young child. The young man was working on a road construction project and left home yesterday morning to take his child to school and then head off to work. He was hanging out with friends after work when he was chased down and shot dead by the police. Today, scores of Lindeners protested the killing while demanding justice. The protest action intensified as old tires and other debris were placed on the road and set ablaze. Armed with protected shields and weapons, the police attempted to move the crowd back, but that decision incensed the crowd and some persons started to pelt bricks and other items at the police after the police opened fire in their efforts to disperse the crowd. The protesters stood their ground while dodging rounds and pellets being fired by the police.
A police rank has been struck shots. Live rounds. Watch yourself.
The police get to shoot at the hand of fucking attack. That's what they're doing wrong. And
a police rank. A police rank has been struck. Oh, he struck again. Look, missiles are being hurled at the police and the police vehicle. This is a very dangerous. There it is.
One of the protesters, Dan Johnson, was shot as the police fired several rounds towards the crowd. He was taken to the Linden hospital but was pronounced dead. A number of police officers were injured and had to be rushed away from the scene as damage was also done to one of their vehicles. Debris was placed on the Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge and set on fire this afternoon, bringing a halt to the movement of traffic. It was eventually cleared by the police, but protesters remained close by. Tonight there are calls for calm across the town. The Ministry of Home Affairs has offered its regrets and sympathy over the deaths and has urged calm as the investigations continue. Lindeners are demanding justice. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. It can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Tonight, President Irfan Ali has said that the police officers involved in the two shooting incidents in Linden, the one last evening and the one today during the protests, are currently under close arrest. The president also announced that a full investigation of the two incidents will be conducted with the support of the regional security system.
And the commissioner has assured me that one, all the legal steps in dealing with this matter will and must be followed. The police was under arrest. The Office of Professional Responsibility is undertaking their investigation, and I've asked him whatever external support, if any, is needed, that those external support be sought to ensure that all parties, all stakeholders are comfortable with the outcome of the investigation and the process of investigation.
He said every aspect of the incidents will be examined thoroughly and transparently with external oversight. The president also said he plans to meet with the family members and community leaders to ensure their voices are heard and their concerns are fully taken into account. This evening, he is appealing to residents of the mining town of Linden to remain calm and allow the independent investigation to be completed. He said all actions required as a result of the findings from the investigations will be pursued to the fullest extent. Earlier today, as large groups of Lindeners started to block roads and set fires to debris in the town over the police shooting death of 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters, the president said that there will be a full and professional investigation into the death.
I want to say to the residents that we're going to ensure with support, independent support, that this matter is dealt with professionally, and this should not be exploited politically. This is not a political issue. This is a serious issue. I think the police also issued a statement as to what were the circumstances surrounding the event and what led to the police seeking the individual. All of that will be also investigated.
To the residents of Linden, the president said the matter should not be seen or treated as a political issue. As we reported earlier, 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters was shot dead by Police Sergeant Michael Kendall on Monday afternoon at 1 mile in Wisma, Linden. Eyewitnesses said an unmarked minibus pulled up in front of a roadside bar where the youth and a group of friends were hanging out after work, and a man in plain clothes with a gun in hand emerged from the minibus and chased after 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters. Within seconds, gunshots were heard, and the man in plain clothes, later identified as the police sergeant, was seen dragging the youth out of the yard by his collar and dumping him into the minibus. The young man was eventually taken to the Linden Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. In a statement last evening, the police said the young man was wanted in connection for questioning for an allegation of rape. However, there was never a wanted bulletin issued for him, and his family said they were unaware of any such allegation or the youth being wanted for any crime. They said there was never a visit to the house by the police. They also said the youth was involved in road construction work and was at work every day and never in hiding. The police shooting death led to big protests at Wisma in Linden today. The police were forced to retreat during that protest as bricks, bottles, and other missiles were hurled at them. A policeman was hit by an object and was seen bleeding from the head. At least 3 other police officers were also injured. A number of the protesters who are demanding justice were shot during their actions. A police 4x4 vehicle was also badly damaged as it was pelted with bricks and other objects. Tonight, the situation in Wisma remains worrying. Now to the opposition. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton today said no arm of the Guyana police force could be trusted to investigate itself, and therefore the investigations into the fatal shootings in Linden over the past 2 days must be independent. 21-year-old Ronaldo Peters was shot dead yesterday by a police sergeant, and as protests broke out today against that shooting, one of the protesters, Dan Johnson, was shot dead by the police as they opened fire to disperse a protesting crowd. The opposition leader, who is abroad on official duties, said again the police force has been weaponized and politicized by the current government, and now many members of the force have gone rogue.
The regime has politicized and weaponized the Guyana police force to the point where some policemen have concluded that they can kill young Guyanese men who are vulnerable and poor and then be protected by the Alijac Deo cabal, which is itself involved in extrajudicial killing and illegalities. All Guyanese must condemn the Alijac Deo regime for creating this unsafe and lawless environment and call on them to end extrajudicial killings, which have become a norm under them, and to end the protection of extrajudicial killers.
In the town of Linden today, a number of opposition MPs and officials joined community leaders in seeking answers and meeting with the relatives of the deceased, even as the protests raged on. The opposition group also visited the Wisma police station, where they said they were told that there was a complaint filed against the young man shot dead yesterday, but the officers on duty did not want to provide details about that complaint, instead referring the opposition group to the commander for the region. PNC Reform General Secretary Sherwin Benjamin said had the police been following their own operating procedures, the shooting deaths could have been avoided. Meanwhile, in a statement this morning, the Alliance for a Change said the repeated acts of lethal force by the police force raised serious concern about the culture within local law enforcement agencies. The party called for a transparent and independent investigation and for an end to the impunity that follows the tragedies. President Irfan Ali, as we reported, has promised a full and transparent investigation, which will be overlooked by the Regional Security Service. The mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, is blaming the escalation of tensions in the community directly at the feet of the Guyana Police Force, saying that the actions of the police in the region last night and today have been highly provocative. Tensions spilled across Linden today following the killing of young Ronaldo Peters yesterday by the police. The police issued a statement on the killing, but their version was contradicted by a CCTV video recording, as we have been reporting. Today, the mayor of Linden told reporters that the police cannot de-escalate the situation there by firing live rounds at protesters.
There is no way a second young man should have been shot, more so to lose his life with live rounds. It is most unfortunate that this is the de-escalating ability of the Guyana Police Force to further escalate the matter. So what we are seeing here is not a result of the community. This is a direct result of the police action and behavior. Solomon said the two officers involved in the shooting incidents are known to the community and were involved in other incidents previously. And by now, Linden should understand what's happening in this community. Nowhere else in this country you got unrest or people with disagreement and people just come and kill them. Nowhere else. It only happens in Linden. Both President Irfan Ali and the Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Ben, have called for calm in Linden, as they have also promised a thorough investigation.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58-inch, 65-inch, 70-inch, 75-inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they're giving warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people, washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice of my drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
In other news tonight, the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, sided with the government-nominated members of the commission today and voted not to renew the contract for GECOM's legal officer, Kurt De Silva. The chairman reportedly cited De Silva's pleadings in the just concluded voter verification case as the reason behind her decision. The decision was made even after De Silva received an appraisal score of 98% out of 100 for his work at the Elections Commission. Outside of the Elections Commission Secretariat today, long-standing election commissioner and opposition-nominated member Vincent Alexander told reporters that De Silva's 3-year contract expired in March. And during a meeting last week, the chairman of the Elections Commission said she would hand down her verdict today after the government-nominated commissioners objected to having De Silva's contract renewed. Today, she ruled in favor of the 3 government-nominated commissioners who wanted the contract not to be renewed.
Today she pronounced, and she pronounced in favor of a non-renewal, contending that his conduct in relation to the last case, the recent case, brings GECOM into jeopardy, and that such a person cannot be retained by GECOM because it may result in all sorts of maladies, including the postponement of elections. We find it extremely strange that someone who for 3 years would have observed the work of this officer, would have appraised him, given him a score of 96 out of 110, could on the basis of what may be called one incident, completely reverse her disposition to the point, not of a warning, not of a reduction, but of a non-renewal of contract.
De Silva, in his pleadings to the High Court in the just concluded voter verification case, submitted that while residency is not a requirement for general elections, it would be required for regional elections. However, Chief Election Officer Vishnu Prasad distanced himself from those submissions, telling the press in a statement that the legal counsel did not follow his instructions. But Commissioner Alexander, in the company of his fellow opposition-nominated commissioners Charles Corbin and Desmond Trotman today, told reporters that De Silva's written submission was first placed before the commission, and there were no objections at that time.
Let me say first of all,
he denounced it.
Let me say first of all that the legal officer works with the commission. He's supervised by the chairperson. He's not supervised by the CEO. It's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is the legal officer provided written submissions, and we were privy to those written submissions before they were submitted. And as far as I know, no one gave any negative comments on those written submissions.
Chief Justice Roxanne George, though dismissing the case brought by the PNC Reform's Carol Smith-Joseph, said De Silva was right as an officer of the court to raise the issues that he did, adding that the electoral laws were all over the place and needed to be fixed. Commissioner Vincent Alexander today said while De Silva is being sacked from office, the chief election officer, who has made several blunders since his appointment, has had his contract extended by the chairman in favor of arguments put forward by the government-nominated commissioners. The Guyana government has announced that $100 million has been released into the foreign currency market to ensure availability of foreign currency and provide relief for the banking sector. The announcement was made days after Vice President Bharat Jagdeo told a news conference that $35 million was released into the market. The government's announcement appears to be in response to complaints from persons in the business community about the lack of foreign currency in the local market, which is causing a strain on local businesses. In a statement last night, the government said Vice President Bharat Jagdeo and Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh, along with the Central Bank Governor Dr. Gobind Ganga, met yesterday with the chief executive officers and other representatives of the commercial banks to discuss recent developments in the banking system, specifically in relation to the market for foreign exchange. The meeting was called to discuss the continued availability of adequate levels of foreign currency in the financial system as a whole to meet ongoing demand despite occasional timing differences. Those timing differences, the government said, have resulted in some delays being encountered in the settlement of orders for foreign currency from time to time at some commercial banks. In a statement last evening, the Ministry of Finance said, in order to ensure that pending requests for foreign currency are met in a timely manner, a decision was taken that a sum of $100 million will be injected into the market with immediate effect and distributed across all commercial banks. The injection will provide immediate relief to the system in meeting pending demand for foreign currency, while the temporary timing mismatches unwind themselves. The government also said it remains closely engaged with the private sector, including the commercial banks, in the interest of ensuring the market continues to function efficiently. Well, President Irfan Ali today denied allegations that top officials in his government, including the Vice President and the Attorney General, have threatened to go after the Mohammeds if their son Azruddin Mohammed does not publicly declare that he will not be running for office in this year's elections. On the sidelines of the opening of the local content summit at the Marriott Hotel, President Ali told reporters that the ruling PPP will win the elections because of its track record, as he vehemently denied the allegations being made against some of his cabinet members.
We are never involved in blackmail. Blackmail for what? For what? We're going to win this election because we have worked hard, we have delivered, and people love what we're doing. We're going to win this election because we stayed true to the trust that people placed in us when we went to the polls. We're going to win this election because we fulfilled our manifesto. We're going to win this election because the people the people have trusted us and we have delivered. We're not going to win this election because we were lazy. We're not going to win this election because we are undemocratic. We're not going to win this election because we tried to steal an election. We're going to win this election because we did what was right. We worked hard, we worked relentless, and of course,
the president said if billionaire Azruddin Mohammed wants to contest the elections, he should be bold about it, noting that the PPP has nothing to fear.
as I have said, bring it on. If you want to contest, don't hide under banners. Join forces with the APNU AFC, because from all that you're seeing, it is AFC leaders who are organizing his meeting. We don't have a problem with that. We welcome it. That is democracy. That's your right. But we must be open and transparent about how we deploy our democratic right. We have no issues with that.
Azruddin Mohammed's father, Nazar Mohammed, who along with Azruddin and Government Permanent Secretary May Thomas were sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury in 2024, has accused the Ali administration of blackmail and political victimization, saying it's being done to pressure his son into declaring that he will not be running for public office. Azruddin Mohammed, despite receiving growing support on the ground, has not declared his political intention. Over the weekend, the Guyana Revenue Authority attempted to seize a number of the family's luxury vehicles over some $900 million in additional taxes that are reportedly owed by the family, but was forced to abort the mission after scores of supporters of the Mohammeds protested the move. The president has denied that the actions of the GRA were politically motivated. Alluding to earlier statements by the Attorney General, the president explained that following the sanctions, the government requested information from the U.S. on the alleged crimes committed by the Mohammeds and their associate that led to them being sanctioned in June of last year. He said now that the government has been furnished with the information, the state is taking appropriate action.
The U.S. subsequently, as the AG and GRA said, their agencies cooperating, sent information that is important to the action that the government must take. Nothing to do with politics. Nothing to do with political ambition.
The president said as more information is received from the U.S., the state will ensure that there is due process. And should the matter reach the court, the judiciary, which is separate and apart from the executive, will act in accordance with the laws of the country, he noted. The president also said the government has been consistent on its position on the Mohammeds and has always said it will take appropriate action when information becomes available.
Yeah, you already know it's your Trinidad Toy, the queen of zest. If you take people, man, clap your hand. If you take people, man, clap your hand.
Wait, Bobby?
Hi, Granny.
You know the Nelly song?
How you mean? Plus, she coming for a Creek Explosion Sunday, April 20th.
Creek Explosion? Which creek? And is who bringing she?
The creek by Splash Main, Aziz Akusa, and his Team Extra bringing she.
Team Extra? Let me call Freddy.
Hello, Granny.
Hi, bye.
What going on?
You bringing Nelly Katai and you didn't even put me on the show? Like you was a kunumunu or what?
Don't say fat, you're booking you now.
Let me see the flyer. Female dancing competition over 160,000 given away. Plus male dance off for one motorbike.
Music by Bobby Kush, DJ Magnum, DJ Garwin, David Hype, and Papa Feelings.
Are you giddy up and get your early bird tickets for $2,000 at Team Extra Stabrook Market. Just your size boutique, White Castle Fish Shop, and Fireside Sweets. Brick Explosion, compliments of Fireside and Team Extra.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, at least 44 people have died after a roof collapsed at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic, according to the BBC. More than 150 people were injured, and rescue workers are continuing efforts to free people from the rubble. It is not yet clear what caused the incident, which happened in the early hours of Tuesday during a concert at the Jet Set Club in the capital, Santo Domingo. Around 400 search and rescue workers have been deployed to the site. The director of the Emergency Operations Center, Juan Manuel Mendez, said rescue workers were still looking for people under the debris. He added that ambulances had made more than 100 trips to the area's hospitals, at times carrying more than one patient. Mr. Mendez said he was hopeful that many of those buried under the collapsed roof were still alive. Jet Set is a popular nightclub in Santo Domingo which regularly hosts dance music concerts on Monday evenings. Health officials in Grenada have issued a public health alert following a concerning rise in sexually transmitted infections, STIs, across the country. The Ministry of Health announced on Monday that they have detected an increase in reported STI cases, with particular concern regarding genital discharge syndrome linked to infections such as gonorrhea. The ministry urges persons to take the necessary precautions to protect their sexual and reproductive health. The statement read, "Health authorities have outlined several key recommendations to combat the spread of these infections. These include avoid risky behaviors, such as having multiple sexual partners or engaging in unprotected sex. The ministry emphasizes the importance of practicing safe sex by consistently using condoms and other preventative methods to reduce STI risks." And finally tonight, international news. The United States said on Tuesday that 104% duties on imports from China will take effect shortly after midnight, even as the Trump administration moved to quickly start talks with other trading partners targeted by President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff plan. U.S. stocks retreated on the news. Global markets had previously posted gains in hopes that Trump might be willing to negotiate down the array of country and product-specific trade barriers he's erecting around the world's largest consumer market. The administration has scheduled talks with South Korea and Japan, two close allies and major trading partners, and the Italian Prime Minister is due to visit next week. But the White House made clear that country-specific targets of up to 50% would nevertheless take effect at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. As planned, those tariffs will be especially steep for China, as Trump has ratcheted up duties on its imports to 104% in response to counter-tariffs Beijing announced last week. China has refused to bow to what it called blackmail and has vowed to fight to the end. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.